Hello, everyone, and blessed be. Sorry it's been a while since I've done a witchy video, but in the comments on one of the videos, somebody asked me for a more simplified road opener oil. And I have not forgotten. It's been tickling the back of my mind. Um, I am very thankful to still be working and be able to work from home right now. But due to my job and the situation, I have been extremely busy and it's been kind of emotional. So I am going to do a road opener oil and a full spell. And the disclaimer I make here is this is one of billions of options. There's so many variables, and that's why it was kind of hard for me to decide what to put together. It's road opener is so vast in the possibilities. What kind of blockage are you having? Is it a person? Is it a thing? Is it yourself? Etc. So I tried to put together one that is kind of basic, and I actually did write out a spell or a mantra to say, and you can use that, just don't claim it as your own. You can change it up, you can do whatever, but again, please understand all of these things are tools. None of them are necessities, and it's going to vary based on your exact situation. And even for your exact situation, there's millions of different variations you can do. But I thought I would just show start to finish a thought process and a way. Maybe if I showed it, it would inspire you or make things click if you have this type of thing going on with you. So because I'm doing the more minimalist approach and kind of using what you have on hand, again, this is going to be very simple as far as the things needed. But the other thing with that too is you can do a simple spell in your mind. You can focus and have it all happen in your mind. You can imagine an altar. You can imagine the ingredients. It's your intent and your focus. As long as you are seriously focused, it has just as much power as using any tool. The thing is, you just can't spew off some stuff, walk away, and think something is going to happen. You have to put in the intent, the emotion, and the effort. So with that being said, for this spell, I am going to use a little jar. This is a baby food jar. Again, you can use whatever you have. You can use a cup, or a glass, I should say. A cup if you have nothing else, even if all you have is a plastic cup. Just something to put it in. If you're going to keep it around, you're going to want a good top. This is a baby food jar, so this is not airtight. You do have to be careful with it. If you don't have a top for something, you could put a paper towel and a rubber band or twisty ties around it, piece of aluminum foil, squished in, whatever you got. So again, don't think you have to go out and buy something fancy. This is just one way of showing you. And then if you don't have even these things, think of something that you do have that can replace that. For this, I am going to use something that probably might not fit in with the minimalist, but it's what I had and what I felt pulled to, and I'm going to use castor oil. For me, again, everybody feels differently about other things, and I've already said that a lot in my other videos. So for me, castor oil, and it's good for your hair and lashes and brows. So it's very good for your body, but also, there's the age-old how to expel, or I'm not going to get into that because I don't want anybody to try it based on what I say. But for me, castor oil is very good at promoting self-love, self-care, self-awareness, and also expelling. So that's why I'm going to use that. If you only have regular vegetable oil, use that. Do not go out and buy something special. In this situation, this is really trying to say use what you have around. I had this around. I know not everybody has castor oil. I'm sorry about that. Right now, vegetable oil is something that's hard to get due to the coronavirus. So I had to use what I have, and that's what I have. So, as always, and I'm sorry if I ramble, but there's so many offshoots of this that I don't want anybody to think this is the only way to do something. Again, this is just one example out of billions of options. So you start with cleansing your jar. Now, I already cleansed this, and the reason I did it is because for time. But if you have smoke, or if you have a sage bundle or any kind of bundle, I use Palo Santo most of the time, but we're saying, we don't have any of that. You can use salt water. If you don't have any of that, you can use tap water. If you want to step up from tap water, you can boil the tap water, let it cool down, maybe set it out in the moon, if you have moon water, anything like that that feels right. But you can use just tap water. But you want to cleanse it, and then you want to let it dry if you're using something wet on it. I do not usually wipe it dry unless I need to do something very quickly. So that's why I did it this way. So you cleanse your jar, and then I hold the jar, and I thank it. And I say, I ask that you hold my intentions for this spell. I ask that you keep the ingredients together, you keep the magic inside, and you deflect and not allow any negative influence to enter this spell. I thank you, and you could say blessed be or whatever you want, but you want to focus on this. This is the cauldron. This is the womb. This is the holder of the intention to keep what you want in and to keep what you want out. So be specific about that. Don't forget that step. If you do, you can do it afterwards. So then I'm going to add the oil. And I'm not going to make very much of this because I'm really doing it for you guys. So you can say something as you're pouring it in. You can wait until after you pour it in. And again, if you forget, you can do it afterwards. I'm going to put the oil in there. And then I'm going to hold it. And I usually go off camera. Well, I'm not usually on camera. I will breathe into this. I will talk very breathy so that my breath goes in here. And I would say something like, I ask you, oil, to be the conduit, the holder of the spell ingredients, to combine the ingredients together based on my intent. The part that you will play in this is to be the main ingredient, the main source, the essence and holder of this spell. Please hold on to my intent and my focus, and let no negative forces affect what's in the spell. Something like that. Sorry, I'm like rambling, but I usually let it go off the fly, even though I did write out a mantra to say with this. So again, I'm breathing in it real quick. Sorry. I usually say that in a very breathy manner, and I breathe into it. You don't have to do that. I just feel our breath is so incredibly powerful and very unique to us. So I use breath a lot. So now you have that. So again, it could be vegetable oil. If this is a road opening oil, it does have to be some kind of oil. Um, and then for the minimalist or what you have around, I went out and got a dandelion. I only got one because I want the others left for the bees, because it is the first food that they really have. And I picked dandelion because to me, those suckers can get through anything. You think they're dead, you think they're gone, they're not. They're going to come back and surprise you. They can grow where things wouldn't grow. They can grow in rocks, they can grow in grass, they can grow in a crevice in the sidewalk, they can break through asphalt to grow and to bloom. And also, every part of the dandelion is very beneficial and can be used by us medicinally or to be ingested. So, to me, a dandelion is absolutely amazing. And normally, I would dry this. If you put something dried into oil, it can last longer. But again, for time, I didn't have that. So, rather than stick the whole thing in, oh, no, you know what? Suddenly I am going to just stick the whole thing in. You just don't want to leave it in there very long, because this can mold and turn the whole thing rancid. So, all those things that I said that a dandelion meant to me, I'm going to cup my hands and use my breath to talk to it and tell it all of those attributes I feel it has, and ask the dandelion to contribute those attributes to this spell. And then let no negative influence affect this spell or the ingredients. So then I'm going to just float it on there. Of course, it's oil, so it just floats. Very pretty. And then I also got 3 dandelion leaves. These are a little bit dry because I got them yesterday. 3 felt like a good number to me. And the dandelion leaf is a part of this. You can eat these. You can put them in a salad. Again, very good for you and your body internally. So again, it's that self-help, self-health, even spiritual health. And same as the dandelion, these suckers can grow and will keep coming back, and they will push through anything. And plus, getting some of the leaves is not taking away from the bee food. So I'm going to put those 3 in there. First, again, I would hold them. I would explain their purpose in this. I would explain the attributes of them that I'm asking to be in the spell. Let no negative influences affect this spell. And that can be it. I think dandelion oil is an amazing road opener oil, personal strength oil, things like that, for those reasons. But that's because that's how I feel about dandelions. If you don't, or if there's something that you feel that way towards, use that in your oil. Then what you can do, so I'm going to do a little bit of one more thing to add if you want to. This again could be all you need right here. But using what you have around you, this is a plastic closure for bread or other bakery items. And this can be a focal point because it does look like 2 opposing people or situations or things like that, if you can see that. And you can imagine you being one and the blockage being the other. And what I like to do in situations where I do use these is I will say something, I see you and you see me, but I'm breaking this blockage. I'm setting myself free. And then you can snap. And when you snap it, feel it. Get that emotion going before you snap it, and snap it. Then the side that you saw as yourself, I'm going to put in the oil. The side that I saw as the blockage, I'm going to throw this away. It is no longer a part of the equation anymore. It is gone. So now I have myself victorious. I have the dandelion flower, and I have the dandelion leaves in the oil of my choice. Again, you don't have to do the bread plastic. You can find anything. You can use a toothpick and write on one side, me, and then write on the other side, whatever the blockage is. And you can snap that, but you got to build up that energy. Don't get mad, get determined, get seriously determined. Just hold it and see that blockage on one side and you on the other, and you being victorious. And when you snap it, don't just go plink, go bam. Even if it doesn't make enough noise, feel that, ooh, I'm tingling. Get that going, and then discard the blockage and put the victorious you in the spell. And remember that that is in there, and remember what that is and what that means. So for me right now, I have a completed road opener oil. You can add more to it, whatever you want, whatever moves you. Just make sure it has a purpose and a meaning to you. Don't just add more ingredients like because you looked up cinnamon makes things go faster or whatever. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Don't add it, no matter what any list says. You are not ingesting this. So it's purely what you feel the magical properties of the ingredients are. And that could be it. Now, then I would take this, and again, I would talk very breathy into this. I would thank all the ingredients. I would focus on each and every one of them again. And I would set an intent. And that could be it. You don't even have to put it on a candle. You can have this as a focal spell, meaning you set it somewhere, and every time you feel the need, you come back to it, you hold it, you remember every single piece you put in here, including the jar, what it means to you, and you can refocus on that. Again, the power is in you. I personally do not ask any deities or universe to do something for me without me having to do anything myself. I will ask for assistance. I will ask for guidance or a push or a nudge or something like that. But I do not say, here's my blockage. Will you please go get rid of it while I sit here on the couch? I feel a witch needs to be very active in their own spell, even if it's merely that very active focus. So this could be your whole spell, not just the oil. And you can do just that. Now, if you want to use this as an oil in a candle spell, I'm going to move the oil out of the way. You can get a candle holder if you have it. You can use a plate if you don't. You can use a flat rock if you have that. Whatever you have. And if you want to do candle magic and you don't have a candle like this, you want some sort of, whoops, ongoing joke. You can use any kind of candle. You can use a tea light. You can use a birthday candle. You can use a fake tea light, as long as you're focusing on the intent and see it as whatever it is. I see a candle as a way to further focus my intent and to send that through smoke out into the universe. It's letting it's like going up to a mountaintop and shouting your intent. That's what it feels like to me. If it doesn't feel right to you, don't use a candle. But again, you don't need this. This is just another step. And another thing I'm going to do on this is I'm going to, whatever you want to use, a toothpick, a fork, A knife, well, be careful with knives, but I am going to draw a line that seems to be about halfway. And you can do this with a birthday candle. If you are using a tea light, you can take a pen on the side of it and draw a line that looks about halfway. So you have your tea light, and then you just draw a line on the outside halfway so that you still have a top and a bottom, whatever you want to do. So this up here to me is the first thing I want to do is get rid of the blockage. So I'm going to draw a line up because I want that up, and it's white. Probably wasn't the best option to pick for this, sorry. And there is color magic. You can say certain colors do certain things. And I follow that, although what I see a color as might not be what you see a color as. So I had a big white one. I'm using that. Again, you can use birthday candles, tea light candles, whatever you got. And then I would write the blockage that I want gone. So I'm just going to write block, because again, I'm just doing this as an example. And I don't know if you can see that, but I wrote the word block. You would write whatever or whoever it actually is. And then if you feel drawn, if this is the blockage half, so you can put get out, go away, disappear, whatever you want on there. To me, the bottom half is what I then want to come towards me. So I'm going to do an arrow pointing down. Doesn't have to be perfect. Mine wasn't. And then what do I want to come to me? It could be success. It could be victory. It could be happiness. It could be a new job. It could be whatever. So I'm just going to write victory. And if you have a little birthday candle, you can use a toothpick to write in it. And, if it's hard to write a lot of words in a little tiny birthday candle, you can do a V for victory or a B for the block. It doesn't have to be full out, but your intent. So the whole point to this is your intent. You have to be so focused and so intent during every steps. It's those steps that lock in your focus and your intent and your emotion that will make you aware of your own power to use that as a spell. So sometimes having simple things, but a lot of steps that you really focus on can be amazing. That's what I think. But if you just throw everything together and then walk off, I personally don't believe that's going to have the same effect. So then you hold the candle, you focus again, you can put your fingers over the words and focus on that block, focus on that arrow going up. That block is going to go away. It is gone. And with it comes victory. The victory is going to come to you. And tell this candle and these words what they mean to you and how you want them to work within the spell. Then, and you could have set this on your altar for a certain amount of days. You could put it in the moon, the sun, whatever feels right to you to do. But this is so powerful to me. It feels totally fine. Now you can use what you wrote with and dip it in there. You can use your fingers. If what's in here is safe to touch, this is fine to touch. But you just want to be careful. If what you put in here is not okay to touch, don't touch it. But I am just going to stir my finger around. And again, I'm going to think about all the ingredients and my intent and my reason for doing this to begin with. And then some people do the whole hand thing, And if that feels right to do, do it. When I do candle magic, every time is different based on whatever I feel. So on this one, I'm going to find that arrow that you can't see, and I am going to anoint that arrow. And while I do that, I'm going to think about all the ingredients and the parts of those ingredients that are going to make it go away. That's going to make it leave. That dandelion is going to break through it trying to stop me from growing. Okay? That snap in half, I got rid of that blockage. That blockage is going to go away. Only my victorious self is going to remain. And you can go all the way around if you want, or whatever feels right to you. Now, I'm going to dip in again. And you can wash your hands and then do the next part if you feel that you shouldn't use the same hand that touched the going away. But to me, this is me. I'm commanding this, so I'm going to use the same damn thing. Sorry. But now I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to find the down arrow, and I'm going to rub the oil over that. And as I do, I'm going to think about me being victorious, success, and whatever's going on coming to me. Okay? Now, this is a lot of oil. And if you accidentally swipe past the line, don't freak out. Although, if it feels really bad, like, uh-oh, I shouldn't have done that, then you can wipe it off. So, now we have our anointed oil. And that's a lot of oil on there, actually. So, I'm going to wipe some off. I'm going to rub it in really good, paying attention to the two halves as separate situations. Okay, now fire warning. We put oil on a candle, okay? But, you know, this is reality, right? So you can let this candle set. You can put it on your altar. You can put it in the moon. You can put it in the sun. You can put it on top of here and let it sit for a certain amount of time. Whatever feels right to you. Again, go with that. Sorry, I had to take a sip. So now you're ready. You can set up a fancy altar. You can go outside and do this. You could do whatever. Just keep in mind, and we're going to see what happens. This is a little wobbly in here, but that's okay. Again, if you don't have a candle holder, you can use a plate. You can use a flat rock. You can use whatever you have. Now I am going to use wooden matches. If you don't have that, you can use a lighter. You can use a piece of spaghetti on your burner on your stove. Whatever you got and whatever feels right to you. Like everything else in this spell, this match or the lighter or whatever, this has a reason. The intent is this: I'm going to ignite my passion and my intent, and I'm going to bring this to fruition. Now, you want to say whatever words you want to say, but this match and this act, bam, this is going to happen. This is me. I have the power. I'm lighting the match. I'm putting this in action. However you want to do that, you do that. Took 3 times the light. That's funny. Okay. You can stare at the flame. You can say something to this fire. But for these purposes, I'm going to light it. Okay. Now you can keep this match. It's hot, so I'll put it there. And you can even add that to the oil once it's completely cold. Or you can put it to the side or whatever. I usually keep the match that I used until the spell is done, but you don't have to. So now we have our candle. Now, if it's a really big candle and you are not in a position to be able to let that sucker burn all the way down at once, you can sit here and focus on every part. Again, go through all the steps mentally in your mind. I have a mantra that I wrote up that you can say when you light it, but then you can come to a certain point. If you only have 5 minutes to do it a day, you can snuff it or you can blow it out, whichever feels right to you. It is okay to blow out a candle. I blow out my candles, sending my breath through this flame out into the universe. It's whatever feels right to you. So, a candle like this can be a 2-week candle. It can be a 1-month candle. It can be a 1-day candle, whatever feels right to you. Don't feel that you can't use a candle if you can't let it burn completely down the first time. If you're using birthday candles, you can do 1 per day because they burn down fast enough. You can redo this, anoint it, and then do the next candle the next day. If you're using a tea light, you can let it burn for a certain amount of time, blow it out. If you can't finish the whole candle, that is going to stop you from success only if you think it will. If you put it in your mind, I've screwed up, this isn't going to work, you're right. If you put it in your mind, this is a situation, and I am going to find a way to use what I have and do what I can, and I will succeed, then you're right. So, like I said, I came up with a mantra. You can use it if you want, just don't claim it as your own. You can change it up. It doesn't have to rhyme. This one happens to rhyme. And you can do it at any point in this process. You can do it after the candle's lit, where you can sit there and focus, which is sometimes what I do, most of the time what I do, but it doesn't have to be. So, without trying to set this on fire, this is what I wrote. Hopefully you can see that. To the universe, I now say, I am a witch, I will find a way. Barriers be gone, blocks be removed. Help me see the path down which I should move. Help me help myself, hammer in my hand. I will break through and on the other side stand. The situation is gone, the blocks are destroyed. I have the power, its power is now void. The road is open and before me now. No more blocks will I allow. To the universe I now say, I am a witch, I will find a way. And again, that's generic. So your situation, you might want to say different things. You might want to focus on the dandelion. You might want to do whatever. Again, a deity or entity or whatever to do something for me, but I will ask for their aid so that I can help myself, if that makes sense. So that's why in this one, it is very geared towards, this is what I'm going to do. I'm already seeing the outcome. I am going to do this. You can say this mantra every time, or any mantra you come up with, or even if it's just a couple of words, even if it's, I will succeed. I will beat this. I will be victorious. Whatever it is, you can say it every time you light that candle, or if you're going to burn it all at once, you can sit and repeat that and visualize you succeeding. Visualize you being victorious. You have already won. Do not let doubt come into your mind. So anyhow, I think that's it. I hope it was okay. Okay, again, please understand there are billions of variations. The reason that you are trying to do a road opener oil may be very different from one that fits this situation. There's no wrong way. I was just sharing one and trying to do it with very simple items because somebody asked me for that. And I hope you enjoy. Blessed be.